If it hurts, you ain't the breaks, no get you know it up, put on more steam. Protect our kickers, our quarterback, our lead, our ball game. All obstacles, block, cut, sides, through the game, tackle, this win it. Rush you again, here for the first man. Carry everybody, keep it there for 6 minutes.
Rocky Top, you'll always be.
Just look around. You got the mountains. You got the most beautiful city in the whole entire country. The university is absolutely, looks like it's out of a storybook. It's just beautiful. People are incredibly genuine and extremely nice. It's just a place that obviously I'd want my kids to go to school. And it sells itself. You don't have to sell anything about this place. You just got to get them here. You know, the old field of dreams. Yeah. Build it and they will come. It's already built.
Mark Stoops is 2-9 against this team, and to walk around this place before the game, I was disgusted. The smugness of those guys just walking around like, we're going to walk in here, we're going to kick your ass, and you can't do anything about it. And it made me sick. And you know what? They did it. They still did it. What the hell? Can we just beat this team? I know that Mark Stoops has done a lot of good things. This is his one really bad thing. The stupid stat about beating teams with a winning record and taking the next step and blah, blah. Just freaking beat Tennessee. Please, can we just stop losing to this stupid team with their stupid orange colors, their stupid
Western Hall, so
nothing on that heat,
Another shot, she'll love me again.
Run that back, turbo.
Make it a double.
Whiskey, whiskey, won't you go away? Come again some other day. Cause a memory came out to play. And I'm tired of it, tired of it. I don't wanna wonder where she been.
Where she at?
She was here, now she gone again. Now it's me and all my whiskey friends. And I'm tired of it, tired of it.
Yeah, dark brown skin, call eye contact while walking in. Perfect timing, get beside me, now we locking in. She like, tell me how you want it, on the rocks again. Little salt around the rim, feel to the top again. Fell back, now I'm back in it. Deal shots got me sending. Big rapper DJ ain't skinny, playing Richard Mille square business. See me in the club, two-stepping, diamonds around my neck, square dancing. You done made a gangster romantic, fiending for your love, I'm an addict. So addicted, ain't no we can do about it. Country motherfucker, I say what's up, she say howdy. Call you my little cowgirl, how you ride it like a stallion. Don't know why I love it, can't get tired of it. I'm on you bad.
Whiskey, whiskey, won't you go away? Come again some other day. Cause a memory came out to play. And I'm tired of it, tired of it. I don't wanna wonder where she been.
Where she at?
She was here, now she gone again. Now it's me and all my whiskey friends. And I'm tired of it, tired of it. Put you up and hide you on the shelf, I swear I'm through with you. You so hard to leave it alone, it's always something new with you. Ain't nowhere to get her gone, gone, gone. So I guess I'm gonna tie one on. She's so cold I had to go and pour you over ice.
What is going on? Welcome to the Talkin VAWLS Network. My name is BoogieBentley. It's been a minute. It has been a minute. What have you guys been up to? I feel like we haven't talked in, I don't know, like a week. Feels like it's been eternity. I have no idea how this thing works anymore, where the buttons are, how to go live. I'm going to have to get Eric on here and show me how to run a show. I have no clue. Some of us get to take time off. Some of us gets to take vacation. Some of us have to cover fall baseball scrimmages and come up with content for the bye week. Not me, not us. We don't have to do anything around here, but we're going to try to put together a show. I got nothing prepared. I have nothing ready. Oh, I could have worked last night. What did I do? I watched Halloween. Why not? Let's try to get scared. It's Halloween season. Drinking my coffee. I think we can wing it. I think we'll make it. I think we'll survive. Come on in, grab your coffee, smash the thumbs up. Dark mode is officially engaged. I mean, did they get Marvel's permission to use Venom? I mean, is that you have to get I mean, I didn't get their permission to use their clip, so maybe they don't have to get Marvel's permission to use Venom. I don't know. Let's see what you guys are up to. Ron the Don drops a 5 spot, says it's time to pay field support, seeing how that we are Kentucky's pappy. I think he means child support. Let's go Big Orange. Daddy Caner in the house. Michael Holt for 2 says Dorothy and go Big Orange. Shout out, Michael. We appreciate you. Billy Todd for 2 says Dorothy, don't be a Gerald. Don't be a Gerald. Don't be a Gerald when you can be a James Pierce. Joey Carroll for 2 says Dorothy, don't be a Gerald. Matt Mars says shit. It's finally game week. Shit. Don't be a Gerald. Shit. What is up, Matt Mars? We appreciate you. Austin Stubblefield for 2 says y'all already know Kentucky's daddy morning. GBO, we appreciate you, Austin. Balls Girl is here. Balls Girl's in the house. She drops a 20 spot. We'll play the clip.
Rocky Top, you'll always be.
Balls Girl says, morning, Balls family. It's a great Monday knowing that we are Kentucky's daddy. I don't know if you know this. I don't know if you noticed when we sell a shirt that says Kentucky's daddy. So go check it out, bonfire.com/store/talking balls. Appreciate you guys always showing up, showing out, and showing love because, man, sometimes I'm tired in the morning. And I play that Morgan Wallen intro, and I get fired up and I get excited. Caner in the back room didn't. Everybody else dances. Everybody else celebrates. Not Caner. He just sits back there like a bump on the log. But let's get him on here and see if he can bring some energy to the show.
You are Locked On Balls, your daily podcast on the Tennessee Volunteers. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Eric, Kane, I have a bone to pick with you. Why are you trying to sick your social media hounds on me? I knew what you were up to.
Because you deserve it, man. I mean, you call yourself a Vol fan, yet you're going up there to Appy State, a gorgeous venue of college football here in the fall. I mean, it's magazine-worthy photos, and you're taking in some football when you should be sitting at home rewatching all the Tennessee games on the bye week, getting ready for Kentucky.
But that's what you're for. I make you do all the work and come on here and talk about it. Look, I mean, come on. Like, let's look at this. Look at that view. That looks like a postcard, Caner. That looks like a postcard. It doesn't even look real.
I was jealous, man. I mean, I was tweeting at you, but I was jealous. I would have loved to have been there.
And then if you've never been, if everybody in the chat that likes to give me a hard time about App State, if you've never been, it's worth going. If you catch it at the right time, and we caught it at the perfect time in October, the leaves changing. But you see the scoreboard like underneath there. You've been to a game there. Like how they've got that berm and the student section just kind of files into it. I've seen it full. I've never seen it that full. And it had been 37 days since they had played at home because of the hurricane.
Oh, wow.
And it was, man, it was almost surreal driving over there. Cause you see those pictures I took, and it's like, a lot of us, that's home, man. East Tennessee, West North Carolina, that's right here in our backyard. And we talk about Mountain Strong and we talk about the impact. When you see it, like for real, the drive over and there's cars like in the riverbed and there's houses just destroyed.
Yeah.
Man, those people have been through it, and being able to sit in that stadium, and it's like some of those people needed that. And I thought one of the coolest scenes that we saw was the first touchdown, and it came in the second quarter. The entire App State offense went and jumped up on the wall there in front of that berm. Student section going nuts. Ref throws that yellow flag. I'm like, man, these people have been through it.
Did they decline it? Did the team decline it?
No, Georgia State took it on the kickoff.
I was going to say, what was the score? Who'd they play?
They played Georgia State. I tweeted out and said that App State did something that Jeremy Pruitt couldn't do, and they beat Georgia State 33-26. Joey Aguilar, that App State quarterback, he's a gamer, man. He threw for like 300, 3 touchdowns. It was back and forth, 7-8 lead changes throughout the course of the game. So just a fun game, fun environment. Wasn't completely full, which I kind of wondered just because of the impact, man, because of the impact. But it was a fun Saturday with the family, fun Saturday of college football. Let me catch up with you guys a little bit more. Timothy McGee for 5 says, who watched LSU and Texas A&M? The A&M offensive scheme is what I wish Heupel would do to help Nico. I did not watch that. I did not.
You heard about it, though, right?
No, I didn't. Dude, I was off the radar all weekend long.
So for it to be a bye week, I was very busy as well. I did not get to watch as much college football as I wanted to. But nonetheless, you had LSU that was up 10 with like 8 minutes left in the third quarter. They bench Connor Wagman, They put in Marcel Reed. Marcel Reed runs for 3 touchdowns in the last quarter and a half. He's 2 for 2 passing for like 80 yards, and A&M beats LSU.
A&M's the only aren't they undefeated in conference play?
Yes.
Yeah. Because I was looking at the conference standings right before we went live. I mean, Tennessee, obviously, we say everything's in front of them. It's going to be interesting to see how it plays out moving forward the next few weeks. I laugh at myself all the time for saying we don't need a 12-team playoff, and all it's done is make the regular season even more fun. Anybody
who said this devalued the regular season was speaking prematurely or just isn't watching college football, because this has been so much fun this year, because every single week it's just playoff implications, and this team is out and that team got a second loss, and it's been wild, man. It's been fun.
Did you see this coming though before? Like, anybody saying that now is delusional. Like, it's been a fun year of college football, but before I thought if you drop a game, it doesn't necessarily matter.
I think I knew in the SEC that if you dropped a game, you'd be okay. But now it's like before the season started, I thought a 10-2 SEC team would be good enough to win or good enough to get in. That might not be the case now, because I think there's going to be several 10-2 teams from the Southeastern Conference. So I don't know, man. It's going to be wild. I wanted to expand the playoffs, but also I knew that the 12 teams that make the field, like over half of them realistically are not going to have a chance to win a national championship. So I knew that the field wasn't going to be open to all these national championship contenders. However, it still makes it a whole lot of fun, and you never know what's going to happen. So it's been a blast.
Matt Morris brought up a good point in the chat, because I was just wondering this too. What in the world are the SEC tiebreakers going to be now? Because you could have a lot of teams end up with one loss. Of course, again, Texas A&M 5-0, but then Georgia, Texas, Tennessee, LSU all have one loss. But some of these teams play each other. Does Texas and Texas A&M still play? Of course, Georgia and Tennessee still have to play. I have no idea what the tiebreakers are. But if you remember, even before when it was SEC East and West, some of the tiebreakers were stupid. It's like,
if I could just take control of your show here, Boogie.
Let's do it. I'll leave if you want. I'll leave and just forward me the super chats, and I will catch you up on the next one.
Hey, there we go. Let me in right here. So these are the tiebreakers right here. So you got head-to-head competition among the tied teams. Record versus all common conference opponents among the tied teams. Record against the highest place common conference opponent in the conference standings, and proceeding through the conference standings among the tied teams. Cumulative conference winning percentage of all conference opponents among the tied teams. Cap relative total scoring margin versus all conference opponents among tied teams. And random draw of the tied teams. So if none of that can get you, they're going to do a random draw.
Why not? Just draw it out of a hat and see what happens.
But it's funny, like the tiebreakers, all offseason, everybody kept on saying, what are the tiebreakers going to be? They released this right before the season started, literally a week before on August 21st.
Those are pretty good, though. Like when it was the East and West, I think there was at some point throughout the list of tiebreakers was how many points you'd scored, which is ridiculous to think which I guess if you're going to get down to drawing out of a hat, that's pretty ridiculous too. Yeah. I think we got to find a better way. Than just blind draw. Good old Nate Pruitt drops a $10 super chat. We appreciate you, brother. Says cover charge Boogie. Howdy, Cainer. Howdy, Vols fam. Dark mode. Be the pappy. Kentucky's daddy. God bless and go Vols. Thank you, Nate. You're the man. We appreciate you. Dim Barnyard Bills for 5. D-Samp going to tote the rock. 200 yards, 3 touchdowns. Nico 275 passing. 70 rushing yards, 3 total touchdowns. Balls by 50. GBO, Cainer, and Boogie. Thoughts?
Sign me up, man.
That's a lot. That's a lot. That's a detailed prediction there.
That would be great. That would certainly mean Vols by 50, in my opinion, because Tennessee would need to score over 50 points for that to happen. Gosh, anything to get that offense going, right? Dylan Sampson, I could see running for well over 100 yards for sure. So I'd love to see Nico throw for 275. It's been since Chattanooga, so we'll see what happens.
I'm excited to see what this offense looks like. I think Josh Heupel's been so good off the bye, and some people are like, "Oh, we got another bye. We saw what happened with Arkansas." That's not typical Josh Heupel. I think he was 7-1 before that game going into the bye, 3-0 at Tennessee. It's going to be. I want to see this offense, man, and that's Kentucky's not a very good football team, and it's kind of again a week by week thing, right? You go back to that Georgia game, and it's like, man, they could have beat Georgia, but then they also did beat Ole Miss, right? But then they've lost 3 straight. They're absolutely awful on offense, not bad on defense, but I don't know. What do you want to see? I really did have nothing planned. I was just going to kind of talk year to date. But what do you want to see from this offense? We kind of talked about it the last couple of times we've been together, how they've taken a step. Now you got the bye week. What do you need to see from this offense against Kentucky to be like, hey, we got a shot to go beat Georgia now?
Well, I want to see Tennessee come out and actually start fast offensively, something it hasn't done in 3 games. And I want Tennessee to take control of the football game in the first quarter and never relinquish that hold on the game, right? You have Kentucky offensively that is 15th in total woe in the conference, last in scoring in the conference, last in passing offense in the conference, 12th in rushing offense. You have a defense that is okay. They're 7th in total D. They're 10th at 19 points per game. They're 10th in the league. That's a testament to how well the defense is playing in this conference. They're third defending the pass, which is not bad, but they're 12th defending the run. The last week against Auburn, Kentucky gave up 326 rushing yards. 2 weeks ago against Florida, they gave up 197. The back-to-back weeks, they're giving up career rushing days to the opposing running back. So I want to see Tennessee jump out offensively, get a couple of scores in the first quarter, and then with the way that Tennessee's defense is playing, I mean, Kentucky's not going to stand a chance. So I want it to be a victory where Tennessee cruises throughout. You're not having to rally in the second half. You're not having to win in overtime. I want it to look like Tennessee football that we've grown accustomed to the last couple of years. So for that offense, it's getting back to scoring in the first half. It's running the football with Dylan Sampson because there's going to be plenty of opportunities here the last 2 weeks from Kentucky's defense. Is that too much to ask, right? Just score some points. Do what you've been doing under Josh Heupel, with the exception of the last 3 or 4 games.
It's almost maddening.
Start fast.
It's like start fast. We've not done that. It's like, well, we did, but Dylan Sampson fumbles a football, and is that the first fumble he's lost? Like, that's not who that guy is.
In his career.
That's not who he is. Nico just hey, Nico, keep one. Let's run Nico. Okay, I'm going to try, but I'm going to put the ball on the ground. Like, those first 2 scripted drives went well the last 2 games, and then you just put the ball on the ground and make a mistake. And look, Neyland is going to be ready to go. Dark mode. Are you a uniform guy? Have we ever even had this? Like, I love uniforms. I love them. I love Chip Kelly at Oregon back in the day. I just loved it. I love it.
I'm not like, I don't hate him. I'm not old man yell at clouds. Who cares? But I'm definitely not as pumped up and everything as everybody else. But I mean, I like the dark mode. I think it's neat. I love that Tennessee does dark mode every single year to Kentucky. So not as much as everybody, but I do like them. I think
it's just it's smart. Even the orange out, right? Like, I've seen you scroll through the general's quarters and you got the guys complaining about an orange out. Well, it's a home game. You should wear orange anyway. That stadium for the Alabama game looked different. It didn't look like a home game. An orange out looks different. And then, checker Neyland, and then dark. You come up with something for you got limited home games. You come up with something, man, it just creates excitement. It creates a buzz. Yeah. It involves the crowd, but they're going to be ready to go. And Gerald Mincy and his bulletin board material, I don't think Josh Heupel plays into that this week, but guess what? The fans are ready for Gerald Mincy to come back into Neyland Stadium, and they're going to have a little something extra, and they're just waiting. Man, they're waiting for that fast start like you're talking about, and you get that fast start on offense. You let Tennessee's defense go do what they do. Kentucky has no shot. They have no shot Saturday in Neyland. We're their daddy, man. It's like it seems like the Alabama or the Florida when we were on the wrong side of it. And it's like you're just fighting. Well, we were close and we were this, and you make excuses. And some of their fans, it's like, oh, this is a big time rivalry, and it's like, really, no, it's not. I mean, I'm an old man, and they beat Tennessee 5 times in my entire life, and one of those was the year I was born. I don't think that counts. What do you think about the beer barrel? Since we got no agenda, we can just talk about whatever.
I think it's just ridiculous that you can sell alcohol in stadiums now. You have corporate sponsors from, alcohol companies and from whiskey distributors, and that's a part of the game now. Like, you're making money off of that around the SEC, around college football. So because of that, like, I understand why they took it away, but like where we are in making money off this stuff, I mean, it's ridiculous it's not out there yet. I mean, it's one of those things that makes college football what it is. It's beautiful, right? It's those silly little trophies for rivalry games. I mean, it's so dumb, but fans love it so much, like let's go get it. I think it's beyond past due, and I think it's embarrassing that it's not been a part of this game especially the last couple of years with all the corporate, alcohol sponsors. So that's where I stand on it. Saw pictures of it through over the years. I thought I saw it in person a couple of years ago. A glimpse of it. It's kind of one of those things that's always hiding away. Hopefully one day we can see it back on the sidelines in Elan Stadium.
Yeah, it's somewhere in Knoxville. Somewhere in Knoxville. I think Danny White knows where it's at, and I think it's time to break it out. I pulled up the Wikipedia on it because I was trying to look for dates. Like they brought it out in 1925, lasted through 1997.
Wow.
But one of the cool things that I didn't know about was when I was reading that little Wikipedia blurb, it said in 1953, Kentucky won the game, but Tennessee students stole the barrel and took it back to Knoxville. So in retaliation, Kentucky students snuck on campus in Knoxville and dog-napped Smokey. Have you heard this?
I have not, but I can believe all of this. This is awesome.
And it led to like a prank war between. It sounds like straight out of Saved by the Bell for all you people my age. It led to a prank war between.
No, you know what
it
sounds like for anybody out there? Probably it's a very small audience. It sounds like an episode of Blue Mountain State. Is what it sounds like.
See, I've not seen that, and everybody tells me I need to watch it.
It's good stuff.
What the last thing in it was that Vanderbilt eventually got involved trying to steal the barrel, and then it was like that's just fun, man.
Why did Vanderbilt get involved in trying to steal the barrel?
I don't know.
That's silly. That again, it's the petty little pranks and social media jabs and all that type of stuff. Again, it's what makes college football so great. And since we don't have an agenda, let's go away from the beer bowl. Let's go back to the home, stuff like orange out and all that. The checker kneeling, I think, is anybody that gets upset about checker kneeling, I want to be like, what? Why? I think it is gorgeous. I think it is one of the most beautiful sights in all college football, and I love whenever Tennessee does checker kneeling. I wish Tennessee would do it more,
especially when you're there early. Like when you're there early and you see everybody file in. I was there the first time they did it for. It was for Florida. I think it was for a Florida game.
2016.
Yeah, was that the first time?
Or it was against Florida, but I want to say 2015 or 2016.
I think 2014. Anyway, it doesn't matter.
Those years.
We were in there, and the guy that used to host the show with me, JP, we were sitting there. I was like, there's no way this fan base is going to pull this off. There's no way. And then you just watch it unfold. Matt says it was Oklahoma. That would have been 2015, maybe. Anyway, it was neat. It was neat watching it as they filed in. What do you think about this one, though? Because this is what a lot of people say, and I disagree with, black and orange, checker kneeling. Dark mode, black and orange.
Having said all of that, let's not ruin a good thing. I think the traditional checker kneeling's beautiful. Now, if we try to do black and orange, I think that's too much. It's my opinion. I understand Halloween, all that type of stuff. I think it's too much. Just wear your dark mode, go out there and play at night and beat Kentucky like you've been doing the last couple of years. I would not try to checker anything outside of orange and white. Just my opinion.
I was down with it until somebody tweeted out a picture of the disgusting Halloween candies that are just in an orange and a black wrapper. Yeah. I don't even know what they are. They like caramel or something. And I was like, I'm done. Because anytime somebody shares that picture, all I think about is those Halloween candies. Let's talk a little bit more about Kentucky. See, we're 23 minutes in, and we talked about absolutely nothing. I was going to ask you your favorite Halloween movies, but I'll spare the chat, and let's talk a little bit about Kentucky. We talked about the battle for the barrel. We're talking about being Kentucky's daddy, 26 straight wins from 85 to 2010. And even though Kentucky acts like it's more of a rivalry now, they've won 3 out of the last 13. They've never beat Josh Heupel. What do you like the Gerald Mincey stuff? Is that just fans being fans? Like, he said he owes it to Kentucky fans to go handle business. I didn't have a problem with that when he said we're going to go out there and bust them in the mouth, put the standard back over here. Still didn't have a problem with that. Talking about Kentucky's tempo, that's just comical. One of the things is he takes to Twitter at interesting times. I think it was Campbell got injured and he had tweeted something. Yeah. Nico got blown up and he had tweeted stuff like that. That's a little bit too much. Do you put any thought into it, or is it all just us fans being fans?
The majority of it's just, silly stuff on social media. Like, I don't think much of it. I do think that, like the tempo comment was hysterically just inaccurate and funny at the same time. I just, like, what? Like, that makes no sense. I mean, Tennessee's offense isn't as fast as what it normally is this year, but that makes no sense. He's got a new team. He's got new fans. He's got new teammates. You do you, man. But that game's coming up later in the year, and now it's here. And Gerald Mincey wasn't even on the field last week, and he typical Gerald Mincey fashion. He's having a hard time staying on the field. He's injured a lot, so we'll see what his status is this week. But I don't think Tennessee needs any extra motivation for this game. Gerald Mincy came in and played a lot of snaps for Tennessee the last couple of years. We're part of a bunch of big wins. I'm not trying to diminish that, but I mean, it's not like your star quarterback left and went to a rival. Okay, it's just kind of is what it is. I think Tennessee goes out there and wins that game because Tennessee's a much better football team. And you look at Kentucky's offense with help from Gerald Mincy, the transfer offensive tackle. They're again 15th in total, last in scoring. They're last in passing offense. I mean, it's not a very good offensive team. So I think Tennessee, again, can go out there and just do what it does offensively, run the football, get a lead, and never relinquish it. So I'm kind of downplaying the Gerald Mincy stuff, but it has been rather unique of an offseason because he continues to talk, and it's kind of puzzling.
Yeah, and it's not that Neyland Stadium needs any help getting loud. I think the fans are just going to bring it a little bit more for Gerald Mincy. Sean Cross drops a 20 spot. That's an Orange Boy. We appreciate that. We got a rule around here. We got to play the clip.
Rocky Top, you'll always be.
Sean says, good morning. Headed to Graysburg Hills. First word problems this morning. Kentucky. Ha, ha, ha. Well, I guess have fun at Graysburg Hills Golf Course. By the way, is Grant Ramey an East Tennessee guy? I was listening to y'all Sunday. What was it? No, the Mailbag podcast this morning. I didn't know he worked at Warriors Path Golf Course.
Hold on. You were listening to the Mailbag podcast this morning that came out last Thursday?
Yeah, I needed background noise, man. I need some background noise.
He grew up in East Tennessee near the Tri-Cities. He went to Sullivan South. Yeah.
I gotta talk to you off air. I'm so confused right now. I got to talk to you off air. Anyway,
and he made the big old move down to Blount County, and he drinks coffee with his pinky up now and his tea and all that. So yeah,
I get it. All right, so Kentucky, they're not very good. Tennessee,
you continue to try to bring this back to Kentucky, and you and I both are getting sidetracked. Offensively, just not good. Just not good. They got some receivers, same guys we know for a while. Dane Key, Barryon Brown. Barryon Brown's a really good player, good returner. We know that. They're going to play about 3 or 4 tight ends. None of those guys have really done anything. Jordan Dingle, who was on the official visit via the transfer portal at the same time as Holden Stays, and Holden Stays committed first, and Jordan Dingle went back to Kentucky, and Mark Stoops made it out to be like we tried to steal him from him and, did illegal things. I think it's kind of funny. He's got 7 receptions on the year for 54 yards. He's one of those tight ends. Defensively, they got some players again. J.J. Weaver's a really good player. De'Eric Jackson, the linebacker, is a good player. We all know about Deion Walker, just a mammoth up front at defensive tackle, 354 pounds. Octavius Oxendine, I don't know how he's still there, but he's still there. Pretty decent, a little green in the secondary, but they're pretty good against the pass, but not been very good against the run, again, especially the last couple of weeks. Just a lot of opportunities. I mean, Tennessee up and down across the board, even with the struggles offensively, just a much, much, much better football team. And a Kentucky team that's been a very much of a letdown because you go out there and get your quarterback and Brock Vandegrift, and he has been okay, and that is putting it nicely. He has been very, very okay, and that is a team that's just not won a whole lot of games. So playing at home, night game, coming off a bye, playing against a rival that historically you own. I mean, I'm expecting a big win for Tennessee in a matter of points, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, Tennessee favored by 16. You think Stoops is on the hot seat? That's a conversation I keep seeing pop up. 3-5 right now. If Tennessee beats them 3-6, you got Texas. I mean, you're looking at a 7-loss season, 5-7. They're going to beat Murray State. Louisville, watch out for Louisville.
I mean, they might not go bowling this year. Yeah, I mean, they're very much on the brink if they're going to be bowl eligible. And Stoops he's the longest tenured head coach in the Southeastern Conference right now. I don't know if anybody ever remembers that, but he is now that Saban's gone. This is his 12th year. I think overall he's done a fine job there, but I mean, for what he's getting paid, man, are you kidding me? And last year, 7-6, 3-5 in conference play. Had a couple 9-win seasons, had that one 10-win season, 19 or 21, whatever it was. But, potentially, right? I mean, we live in a world where you got to show me now, and it's not been getting it done. It's been a bunch of letdowns for Kentucky football the last couple of years.
The fact that he gets paid what he gets paid is why I think he could be on the hot seat. But it's like, what do you expect out of Kentucky football? You know what I mean? Yeah. It's like that's why I play that clip all the time. I can only imagine you and Hubs or you and AP recording the 2-minute drill and acting like those guys. It baffles me that they actually get a paycheck from On3 and they act like that in a video. It just blows my mind. But what do they expect Kentucky to be? And I mean, Stoops was there winning 9-10 games. Like, you're pretty happy, but one slip up, 5-7 season, you're going to can him? And who's going to go coach at Kentucky? Like,
that's my thing. Like Mark Stoops, like, who are you going to get to come to Kentucky that is going to do a better job than what Mark Stoops did? I mean, it's always going to be a basketball first school. All the NIL resources are going to go to basketball. I mean, again, shouldn't be the expectation, certainly at a place like Tennessee, but overall throughout his tenure, I think he's done a pretty decent job at Kentucky, but it's just never going to be one of those teams that are taken, in the front seat and seriously in terms of football, in my opinion. So, I mean, I'm with you. I would hold on to Stoops as long as I can, but he had a bad year last year, flirted with leaving with A&M, and the fans kind of said, no, we don't want you, and then he kind of came back. So it's kind of awkward there, I will say, and certainly not winning doesn't help with that awkwardness.
Cainer, we're going to get you out the door. I'm glad I could drag you through the mud this morning. I knew I didn't have to prepare anything. I thought we had some fun conversation, talk about the barrel, talk about college rivalry, talking App State. We'll change the name of the channel. I was
going to say, I'm talking about your love for App State. We spent like 10 minutes talking about that, and I mean, I'm surprised the chat wasn't going wild, man, but we had a blast.
They 37 people left the chat when we started talking about App State. All right, Cainer, it's always a good time. What do you got coming up this week over on Locked On Vols and VolQuest.com? Thank God the bye weeks are behind us.
I know, yeah, bye weeks behind us. All the talk is Tennessee and Kentucky. Some recruiting implications from the last couple weeks and how Tennessee's fared in the state of Kentucky. Big week for Caleb Perry. He's from the Bowling Green area, I believe, and of course he's playing a big role on Tennessee's defense. But anyway, a lot of Tennessee, Kentucky talk, and that's every single morning, 30 minutes or less, wherever you get your podcast, free and available. And, of course, VolQuest.com. We're back to our normal game week routine. We'll have the roundtable on Wednesday, a couple podcasts this week, Trail Tidbits on Wednesday, and all that and more coming up this week.
Oh, by the way, you take shots at me for taking time off to spend with my family that I never get to see. I never get to see them, never get to I don't seem to recall the Rocky Top Rewind popping up on Sundays during the bye weeks. That's interesting. But
well, here, Boogie, what are we going to rewind to? That's my question. Like, it's the Rocky Top Rewind.
I didn't name the show.
Rewind it to what?
I'd go back to somewhere in history. I'd go back and talk about the barrel being stolen and Smokey being kidnapped.
That episode would have sold well. You're right. It would have sold.
Yeah. Taking the day off. All right, Cainer, it's always a good time. We'll catch up later in the week. I'll be over on Locked On Vols coming up on Friday.
Sounds good, guys. See you.
All right, later, brother. All right, let's keep this thing rolling. I don't know what I'm going to do now, but what do y'all want to talk about? You want to talk about Halloween movies? I know one thing we could talk about. We could talk about your Kentucky's Daddy merchandise. You can go to bonfire.com/store/Talkin Vols. Now is the time. Look, it's almost Halloween, so that means Thanksgiving and Christmas are right around the corner. Go pick up a loved one a Christmas gift at bonfire.com/store/Talkin Vols. We got the brand new State Pride 2.0 shirts, TriStar logo inside the state outline. I like that. Kevin did a great job with that one. We've also got the Nate Pruitt special, God bless and go Vols. Also repping a little Talkin Vols network on that. But if you want a rivalry shirt for Georgia, for Bama, for Florida, for Kentucky, it's all there. You want a clean one? We got Beat Bama. You want an offensive one? We got Buck Fama. We try to take care of everybody around here. Bonfire.com/store/Talkin Vols. The link is in the description below. Also, shout out to the members of the channel. We appreciate you. If you got a power T beside your name in the chat, show the custom Talkin Vols emojis. Put your favorite custom Talkin Vols emoji in the chat. If you're not a member, you can fix that by hitting the join button right there beside subscribe. There is also a link in the description of the stream where you can check that out as well. You guys know the deal. There's a Kentucky's Daddy shirt. I mean, who doesn't want to rep that inside Neyland Stadium? Just in case Gerald Mincy forgot, you guys can remind him on Saturday night game, dark mode. Man, that reveal, I love it. I know we played it on the intro. If you missed it, you can go back and give it a watch. Love it, man. Love it. All right, let's you know what we do. You know what we do on Mondays after Cainer bails out. We go watch Heupel's press conference. So we're going to watch the bye week press conference. We're going to see what he has to say. And as always, you guys want to derail me, you know how to do that. Drop the super chat. We'll talk about whatever you guys want to talk about. If not, we'll roll through this press conference and see what Heupel has to say. And then just a quick announcement, Wednesday night, 7 p.m. Eastern time. We're back to business as usual. No more bye weeks. Rest of the season is going to be the same schedule as always. Wednesday night, 7 p.m. Eastern time. I don't know if you guys caught this in the video I made before the weekend. And I said on Wednesday, I said, if y'all like breakfast for dinner. And so many people commented, it was like, yeah, but yeah, I like breakfast for dinner. You know, sometimes I like to have biscuits and gravy for dinner. I like to have bacon, egg, and cheese biscuits for dinner. Well, I was talking about pancakes and bacon. I was talking about the great Kyler Kirbyson and Reed Bacon. I wasn't talking about real breakfast for dinner. I was talking about pancakes and bacon. And I confirmed with Reed last night that Kyler and Reed will be on the show Wednesday night with me and Coach Jay. We're going to do a full show. We're going to do a full show, Talkin VAWLS meets pancakes and bacon. That's going to be the Wednesday night show. So tune in for that. Always a good time hanging out with those guys, talking ball. Both those guys played, at an elite level. They both played college ball. So I value their opinions. And they're also just dudes, man. They're just dudes that can hang out and just talk football. So looking forward to that Wednesday night. Tomorrow night, same as always, 6:30, EA Sports College Football 25. And I've got revenge. I've got to go take care of Sean Cross. He beat me twice in a row, and he thinks I think he's going to the Super Bowl. We got to bring Sean back down to earth.
Certainly pointed those things out yesterday as our guys came into the building. And, at the end of the day, you're in the middle of your conference season and a lot of football to be played, and we got to take steps to play our best.
Just a quick flashback to Alabama game. You said you didn't get to see Will Brooks get the interception because you're on the iPad. When you had a chance to watch the film back, how many times did you rewatch it? What was it like, I guess, seeing it for the first time like that?
Great to see our defense go finish it out. Obviously, offensively, didn't control it and pick up a first down on the 4-minute drive. For those guys to go out and execute the way they did, apply pressure, and then Brooks to be able to drive on it and make a play at the end of it to seal the game. Huge play by him, and playing with fundamentals, technique, and making the plays that are there for him.
Love the story. Will Brooks, Alabama kid, walk on at Tennessee and makes that play to seal that game. Just this Tennessee defense, man, they give them an opportunity to beat anybody in the country. Anybody. And even looking ahead at the schedule and the FPI, the FPI has Tennessee heavily favored to beat everybody other than Georgia. And even the Georgia game keeps creeping up. It's back up to 40% after this past week. But even Vegas, right? Vegas has Tennessee favored by 16. Tennessee is favored by 16 points over Kentucky coming up on Saturday night. They'll even be a bigger favorite against Mississippi State next week. Even bigger favorite against UTEP. Be interesting to see what that Vanderbilt line looks like. But when I look at the rest of the schedule, Boogie, you got to take it a week at a time. You can't overlook anybody, Boogie. I can do whatever I want. I have no impact on the game. Tennessee's beating everybody, but maybe Georgia. My poor wife is trying to lay out the calendar. She's looking at dates in December, and she's like, does Tennessee really have a shot? Do we really have to worry about the SEC championship game and you having to work? And I'm like, yes, they have a shot. Yes, they can beat Georgia. Georgia is beatable. Kentucky, they beat Kentucky 13-12. And now Tennessee favored to beat Kentucky by 16 points, but you got to go out, you got to play the games. I get it. I understand it. But dang it, man, you look back at the way the first half of this season played out, and some of our fans, some of you guys in this chat right now, we're miserable. Absolutely miserable, complaining about everything. We're not going to beat Florida like this. Went and beat Florida. We're not going to beat Alabama like this. Went and beat Alabama. We're not going to beat Kentucky. Nobody's saying that. No. Y'all buying in now. Everybody's buying in now. Balls by 50. Balls by 50. I believe now, Boogie. I believe. The Alabama game didn't look the way we wanted it to. Couple plays here or there. That's a blowout, man. That game's a blowout. But even though it didn't look the way we wanted to, everybody came here and celebrated. It's like the doubt got removed. It's like we saw Nico make a couple of throws, and all of a sudden, Balls by 50 is back. Like, we are such an emotional fan base. But you look at the remaining schedule, Tennessee 100% has a shot at the SEC. 100%. They go take care of Kentucky. They go take care of Mississippi State. I cannot get on here. I cannot get on here with a shot at an SEC championship and the Georgia Bulldogs being the only team standing in our way and get on here and predict Georgia wins that game. I can't do it. I can't do it. If the SEC is on the line and Georgia's the only team standing in our way, y'all know what I think about that. Well, Cam, if you're in Athens and you're listening to the show, I'm going to need you to just roll your window down real quick. Roll that window. I'm assuming he's got a man. It's how old we are. He's manly cranking that window down. All right, now you've had time to roll that window down. Now I need you to crank the volume as loud as it possible. As loud as it will possibly go. I mean, I want you to blow the doors off of somebody. As loud as it'll go. No, there are no good Georgia fans. Eric, terrible, ugly, disgusting. I think they're all terrible, ugly, disgusting. I don't believe there are good people that pull for Georgia. No, there are no good Georgia fans. There are none. I think they're all terrible, ugly, disgusting human beings. Terrible, ugly, disgusting. I think that's why you guys come to the Monday morning show. I think you all come to the Monday morning show because you know somebody's going to ask Josh Heupel about a Will Brooks interception, and I'm going to go on a 5-minute rant about Georgia and about you guys and about your emotional reactions. Let's see what we get coming up next.
During the first bye week, you mentioned a different approach to that first bye compared to what this bye was going to be. Just what is the biggest difference compared to that first week that you guys are looking for this time around?
Again, you're mindful of some of the injuries. Today was a work day, and tomorrow will be too. Fundamentals, technique, special teams, offensively, real point of emphasis. Some subtle things that we're doing differently is to try to get some of that work. The guys are banged up, get the work that they can while still trying to get them healthy here for a long run on the back end.
By the way, Negaval's in the chat. Negaval, did you get married over the weekend? Did I see that right? I thought you were already married. Did you get married over the weekend, Negaval? If you did, congratulations. And also, I'm sorry. You don't get married during football season. I get it. It was a bye week. But guess what? Eventually, it's not going to be a bye week. You may be rolling into a Tennessee-Georgia game, and you got to go on some trip somewhere because it's your anniversary. I get it, though. You're young. You didn't think things out. Negaval said, I did thank you before I proceeded to lecture him on his choosing of the date. I thought I saw that on Facebook, man. Congratulations. That's awesome. I'm happy for you and Crystal. You guys go by them. Negaval says it was a bye week. Yeah, but it might not be a bye week next year or the next year or the next year. And you'll find yourself in a hotel room at some beach or resort wishing you were watching the Vols. In all seriousness, congratulations, man. Sean Cross for 2 says UT versus UT Junior. I guess that means I got to be Texas. Is that what you're saying? You call your shot tomorrow night, Sean Cross. I have a beating in store for you. I'm changing my entire offensive game plan. All right, let's move on.
Coach, as a young player, and you haven't played the position, what kind of growth or how can what Nico did on Saturday jumpstart him just from a confidence standpoint coming through the second half like that?
I think it's tough when you play that position, and that's whether you're young or you've played a lot of football. But certainly when you're young, when things aren't going well, you can hear certain members of the crowd, and you've made some mistakes, which happens in this game when you play that position. You got the ball in your hand every time. You've missed some throws. You turned it over. You haven't moved the ball, whatever it is. The quarterback takes ownership of all of that. And when it's not going well, and, I describe it as it feels like the walls are kind of pressing in on you, to have the courage, the strength, the fortitude to push back on it and go play really good football. Not perfect, but really good football, and find a way to come away with the win. You got to be a tough dude, mentally and physically, to withstand all that. It's one of the real positives that you take away from the game with Nico.
I swear, I hope Nico just finds his confidence, man. I know I've talked a lot about that, and me and Coach Jay have kind of gone back and forth whether he agrees or disagrees. I think there's a little disagreement there on Nico's confidence. I just don't feel like he had the confidence to rip it in the throw to Dante and then the throw to Brazel in the end zone. I hope he finds his confidence. And then you hear his coach sitting there saying, you know, when things are going wrong, when you're turning the football over, when you're making mistakes, and then you hear certain people in the crowd, you know, for him to say that, that makes me wonder if him and Nico have had these conversations, right? Is Nico hearing the people in the crowd? And then I've compared it to golf, and you're struggling, you're trying to find your swing, and or even pitching in baseball, right? And you're trying to place the ball instead of just ripping back and throwing it. Man, when your game's on, it's easy to find the plate. It's easy. But when you're struggling and you're aiming and you're forcing, you're trying to locate it, that's when you start to struggle. Has Nico been forcing it? And that's why we've seen, you know, the interceptions. Is he trying too hard to make a play versus just going out playing football? And I hope he gets that confidence back. I agree. Dakota, after the injury, I thought you started to see some of that. And then following the injury is when you saw the throw to Thornton. You saw the throw to Chris Brazzell in the end zone. And now he's got a bye week with no pressure, 2 weeks to prepare for Kentucky. I thought Kaner brought up a good point, man. Start fast, get that confidence rolling. Because if you start fast, their offense, Kentucky's offense, they cannot answer. They are terrible on offense. 121st in the country in scoring offense. Awful. Their strength on offense is running the football, and they're still 85th in the country. And I think Tennessee's defense is pretty dang good against the run. They give up less than 3 yards a carry. 2.24 yards per carry is what Tennessee's defense is giving up. Good luck, man. Good luck. I didn't have a whole lot of confidence going into the Alabama game. I said it all week leading up to it. I just didn't have a feel for the game. I didn't know what Tennessee was going to show up. But week in, week out, they show you they're going to go play elite defense. They've not struggled. They've dominated. I mean, even in the loss, right? Even in the loss to Arkansas, they only gave up 19 points. The offense just didn't bail them out. That's the most points they've given up all year long, 19 points to Arkansas. Alabama 17, Florida 17, Oklahoma 15. This defense is elite, man. If they can just put it together. I saw one of you guys in the chat put a percentage on it. Just give me 75% of this offense clicking, and they're going to be hard to beat. Just keep getting better week in, week out. It's coach speak. It's cliche. The best teams get better each and every week. Not between week 1 and week 2, but every single week they continue to get better. And I think this Tennessee offense, I think we saw an explosion early in the year based on the competition, right? Chattanooga, NC State, Kent State. The maddening part is it doesn't matter if you're playing Kent State or the 85 Bears. An open receiver is an open receiver. That's the frustrating part, right? Like I would buy, well, it's the level of competition, Boogie. I would buy that if we didn't still have guys running free against Florida, against Alabama, against Arkansas and Oklahoma. We still had guys running free. We just couldn't connect. If it's the 85 Bears and you have guys running free, just hit them, put the ball on them. So we saw that early, and then it just got lost. And it's like Nico lost his confidence. Is that right, wrong, or indifferent? I don't know. That's just one man's opinion. And then we saw against Florida, it start to take steps. We saw against Alabama, it start to take steps. Can we see a big step? Can we see a big step going into this Kentucky game? Coming off the bye week. Huge opportunity.
Sticking with Nico, when you look at on tape the last 2 weeks, you've obviously gotten behind the secondary. You haven't been able to connect as many of those as you want. Is there anything fundamentally that you've seen? Is there anything he needs to be doing differently that you would like to see him do differently on those throws?
There's a couple of things fundamentally. Where you're at on the field dictates some of how you get to throw the ball. Safeties can dictate how you get to throw it. There's a way that you want to throw it. All of that together with, what's going on up front protectionally. There's times that you're not going to be in a perfect position. You got to find a way to complete it. There's a couple of things just with his eyes leading to, where he's at body position wise on a couple of those things. Made some really nice throws too. You look at some of the big plays, Dante down the sideline. That's a special throw on the run to be able to complete. Chris in the end zone on the third down. So, there's some things that he's got to continue to grow in, but that's all a part of, continuing to grow as a player.
Eric and then Reese in the back. Staying on Nico again, and you've touched on this a little bit,
I
but
feel like we might be on the subject for a while.
specifically first half to second half, you mentioned the throw to Thornton and, of course, the touchdown to Brazel. Did you see anything on tape that he might have done different from first half to second half?
I don't think anything like super different. Missed a couple of throws over the middle. Some of that's, the windows, being tight and maybe the timing being off just a little bit with the wide receiver getting his eyes around. It's all parties being a part of it. I do think, settling in, being able to push back on everything that hadn't gone right in the first half, shows growth, but shows you what he's made up of on the inside too, mentally and just his heart and competitive makeup.
Coach in the back here, what's the update on Squirrel White's injury?
Yeah, feel like Squirrel will be ready to roll when we get to the next football game. He was limited today. One of those guys that's been dinged up a little bit, but feel like he'll be ready to roll.
Matt, I wondered that, man, because that's funny. The cigar smoke really worked on Josh Heupel, because I wondered that too, man. Like after that game, his voice was done. He was done. Like he could not talk post game. This was this past, I think it was last Wednesday that this press conference was. He still can't talk. Yeah, that cigar smoke really took a toll on him. I think if Squirrel's going to play, Squirrel better be able to play. If you're impacting your team, you don't need to be on the field. Point blank. And I admire Squirrel. I admire his toughness. I admire, they slapped that sign, I'll give my all for Tennessee. I think Squirrel's giving his all, but if he can't raise his arm to slap the sign because that's how hurt he is, then he probably doesn't need to give it a go. And I think I heard, I don't remember if it was Cain or somebody at VolQuest basically said, that's not him, right? That's not his call. Squirrel says, I want to play. That's what he wants to do. That's what competitors do. That's on the trainers and the coaching staff to say, hey, we get it. You're tough. You can go. Maybe you need to sit this one out. But again, bye week coming at a good time, right? Bye week coming at a good time. Get healthy, get right, and let's go out and let's take care of business against Kentucky. Next man up. If Squirrel can't go, if Squirrel is hurting you, then he doesn't need to play, period.
The last year or two, we've heard a lot of reflection from recruits that ended up here based off the 22 game. To have another similar type atmosphere the other night, just kind of your thoughts of being able to see kind of the faces of some of those players and how they enjoyed things and all that.
Yeah, big time games, elite environment inside of Neyland, and it's always special. But for some of those rivalry games, it's ratcheted up another notch. I think those are great environments to see the competitive makeup of playing in this league in the big games. Recruits get an opportunity to see how special, playing football on Rocky Top is, what the Neyland effect looks and sounds like. And, those are huge pieces of the recruiting puzzle for us.
I think this class of 26 has the potential to be something special. I mean, George McIntyre got in the boat, relatively early and gave you an opportunity to be a recruit in the class of 25. Same for Nico, relatively early. Faison Brandon is in the boat extremely early. And not only is he in the boat early, he's the number one player in the country, according to 247 Sports. He is an elite player. Him having the opportunity to peer recruit is going to be huge. Nelson talking about Isaiah Campbell. Again, that's a class of 25 kid, top 50 defensive lineman, 4-star defensive lineman. I know we still need offensive linemen, but if you look at it from a rankings perspective, you're basically replacing a guy that's ranked similar to Douglas Utu in his decommitment. Hey, look, I took the weekend off. I've not looked, but the last time I read on VolQuest about Isaiah Campbell, they were saying that he may not even take that trip to North Carolina. But I think this class of 26 has something to be, opportunity to be something special. And we me and Cain are talking earlier about, Orange Out and Checker Neyland and all the different things that Danny White and this athletic administration does to generate excitement, right? We're playing Kentucky. Okay? We're playing Kentucky on Saturday night. Who cares? We're Kentucky's daddy. We're supposed to go beat Kentucky. Like, even when we were at rock bottom, we were expected to beat Kentucky. Favored by 16. But, because it's a night game, because Gerald Mincy ran his mouth, and because of this right here, I'm going to play it again.
Nothing on that heat,
that doesn't fire you up just a little bit more? Just a little bit more? Dark mode, night game. Come on, boys. Come on, boys. Neyland's going to be electric for the third straight game. Checker Neyland against Florida. Orange out against Alabama. Oh, by the way, Tennessee won both games. But Nico's not as good as I thought. Nico didn't throw for 500. Guess what? As a freshman, Nico beat Florida. He beat Alabama. Oh, I just got chills because I think he's going to go beat Georgia. I'm delusional. See what happens when I take a weekend off? I'm delusional. Sean Cross for 5 says, I was talking about the SEC championship game. If you need Texas, that's fine, though. About to tee off. Well, I hope you hit your first ball into the woods. Sean Cross, your attitude problem. I'm going to fix it on Tuesday night, though. Appreciate the super chat. I'll play whoever you want to play. Tomorrow night, 6:30. But Nico didn't throw for 500 yards. It doesn't count that he beat Florida and Alabama. By the way, if you just rolled in the chat, smash the thumbs up. I would appreciate it. Made an announcement earlier, Wednesday night, 7 o'clock, regular Talkin Balls live, but it's going to be a crossover. Coach Jay and Boogie Bentley meet. Pancakes and bacon. Kyler Kirby and Reed Bacon going to be in the house. Kind of do like a year-long recap, give their thoughts, their opinions. Look at the schedule coming up, talk a little Kentucky. Always a good time having Kyler and Reed on the show. Looking forward to it, man. Looking forward to
it. Josh, there's that old saying that they remember what you do in November. What do you like about your team heading into November? And maybe what were some bullet points you took mentally on Sunday watching the film that maybe you wanted to address as well going into the week?
Yeah, fundamentals, execution, precision in everything that we're doing. Defense played really good football, but there's things that they can clean up too, obviously, offensively. Special teams as well. So you point those things out. And as you've heard me say, good teams continue to get better throughout the course of the season. Every week's its own identity. The takeaway from this football team is they're tough. They got competitive composure. That's all phases of the game. When it's not going well on one side, how the other units are responding. The unit that's not playing well, finding a way to get on the right side of it. For us, there's a lot of football left to be played. It comes down to growing every single day. Being intentional in your work, competing for everything that makes a difference, from fundamentals to technique to eye discipline within the scheme that you're playing in. So we just got to continue to grow.
Adam and Paige. Josh, you've always made a point about the impact that the Tennessee crowd has on the game. You did a minute ago. When you hear the suggestion that some of that's artificial, what's your reaction to that?
I had not heard that. Neyland doesn't need anything fake piped into the stadium for that to be the loudest place in America. Hopefully our fans take that personal and enjoy this bye week and come back, and we'll be louder than ever the next time we're at home.
As if they needed any more motivation, right? It's like, Night game, dark mode, all the stuff we just rattled off. Gerald Mincey running his mouth. All us fans remember it. We're going to have a little something extra. Now you're going to accuse us of piping in crowd noise. So give me another reason to get a little extra sauced up before that 7:45 kickoff. As if I don't have all day to get ready for it. You can see Heupel just licking his chops. Okay, how am I going to spin this? Oh, okay. I'm going to challenge our fans to bring it a little extra for Kentucky.
Whether it ended in a completion or not, there are a number of times the wide receivers beat the coverage, beat the DBs. What have you seen in the wide receivers room continual growth? The last couple of weeks, they've continued to grow in what they're doing. Chris Brazel's a great example of that. Happens because of, how you practice and how you prepare. And you start stacking days and weeks of performing at a high level on the practice field, and it will translate to the game. And there's still a lot of growth left in that wide receiver room. We played a bunch of bodies. We need that room to continue to grow. That will be a part of the puzzle of us executing the way that we need to.
Last two, Patrick and Casey.
Coach, you guys had a pretty good running back to replace when Jalen went to the NFL. Dylan's come in and played at really high levels, almost closing in on the single season touchdown record. Has he done anything that's surprised you, the way he's played and how durable he's been with the workload you guys have been giving him?
I wouldn't say that anything's truly surprised us. Had great trust in who he is, his competitive makeup, continuing to add to his frame, durability piece. He's a dynamic player, man, and is a part of, changing the way the game's played for us. And, him creating explosive plays has been a part of getting us jump started when we haven't been necessarily functioning at our highest.
Speaking.
Dylan Sampson for Heisman, man. What a dude. I was stunned when I was looking at the numbers and saw that he already has, through 7 games, already has more carries than Jalen Wright had the entire year last year. So when Heupel mentions durability there, I hope so. I hope adding extra size adds to his durability because they're going to need him down the stretch, man. And Deshaun Bishop's played really good football too. I almost wish they would get Deshaun Bishop a little bit more involved just to keep Dylan Sampson healthy throughout the back half of this schedule. And again, you got the bye week coming up. They fed him last week. So you got the bye week coming up for Sampson to get healthy, get ready. Hopefully that helps. But man, what an absolute stud. And even Heupel saying there, at times when the offense is stuttering, the offense isn't going, Dylan Sampson just kind of picked this team up, put him on his back. He's going to break that record. He's right around the corner from breaking that record. I wouldn't be surprised if he breaks it against Kentucky. Big Trey becomes a member of the channel. Shout out, Trey. Good to see you in the chat, my friend. We appreciate it. If you don't have a power T beside your name, they say that you're a Gator fan. I don't say that. That's what the people in the chat say. So you can fix that. Hit the join button. If you watch all the time, you want to support. We need more memberships. We're on that membership drive. They go up and then they come down and then they go up and then they come down. The more members we get, look, I don't play mid-roll ads because there's nothing worse than watching a YouTube video that's 10 minutes long and having to watch an ad 3 minutes into it. I hate that. I'm committed to not doing that. The memberships are part of that. The memberships help me to be able to do that. Without the memberships, I got to pay the bills somehow. We got to boost up ad revenue, but my commitment is to not do that. So if you're not a member, you like the channel, you like the content, the videos, the live streams, the community, think about hitting that join button. We would appreciate it. We need it.
More from a former quarterback perspective rather than as a coach, is there any advice that you feel has really stuck with Nico that you've been able to give him? Any advice that you have given him about those first half woes that he's had?
Man, it's a position that's never going to be perfect. Ultimately, quarterbacks get judged on wins and losses, no matter what it's looking like. Being able to go lay it on the line, play aggressive, play the next play. Those are the biggest things that we continue to talk about with him. And, I'm really proud of what he did in the second half against Alabama.
Last one, Brandon.
Josh, you mentioned your defensive performance the other night was elite. Your defensive numbers are obviously extremely good. Why has this defense been so good in sudden change situations? I think you've given up 3 points off turnovers this year. Why has this defense thrived in that world?
Really special what they've done in those situations. A lot of forced turnovers. They found ways to push units the wrong direction and take them out of field goal range. or make it a long field goal. I think that, besides just execution, alignment, assignment, technique, the competitive composure, the resiliency, the mental makeup of that group as a whole is really special. And we got to keep that moving forward. We got to continue to grow in it. But it's really special how they've competed and played no matter what the situation is. It's competitive maturity is, the best way for me to describe it. Thank you all.
I think Coach Heupel knows he's got a special defense, and he knows he's got an opportunity in front of him. I think that's why he was so frustrated when the offense is struggling, because he knows he's got an elite national championship defense, and he knows they can go do something special if they can just put it together. And it's got to be maddening, right? It's got to be maddening when you're calling the plays and you're seeing what's happening on the field, and you see guys running wide open, and you see just a lack of execution. It's got to be so dang frustrating. It's got to be. And I think he knows, man. We're a couple of plays here and there, a couple of small little details. That's why he kept beating it for weeks, beating it into the ground. Takes 11 guys. 11 guys. He knows this defense is special. Let's put it together on offense, and let's go beat everybody. Let's go beat them all. Ron the Don for 5 says, so what you saying? It's biscuits, boogie, and gravy, Coach Jay, with pancakes and bacon. Man, that's a great menu. I will take an order of that. GBO. Yep, Wednesday night, 7 o'clock. Kyler and Reed, Boogie, and Coach Jay for a full show. We'll do about an hour. That's what I told him. I always feel bad when you have a guest on. Like, I try to give him like a 30-minute window. Reed and Kyler come on. I'm like, hey, guys, we're going to do a whole show, just the 4 of us. So it'll be fun, man. It'll be fun. We're back to business as usual. EA Sports College Football tomorrow night, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Come hang out. If you don't, you're like, I'm not watching you play video games, Boogie. Come hang out. Come try it out. We have a good time on Tuesday night. That Tuesday night crew hits a little bit different. Wednesday night, regular Talking Balls live with Reed and Kyler. Friday morning, Coach Jay, the morning show is back at 10 a.m. Saturday, tailgate show an hour before kickoff, and then we'll be live immediately following the game. No more bye weeks. No more bye weeks. And I hope we roll right into the SEC championship game. I hope we roll right into that. We get to do a SEC championship game tailgate. Tennessee has not been to the SEC championship since we started this stupid channel. It's been misery year after year after year. We're so close. Let's have a SEC championship tailgate and post-game show. How about it? That's gonna do it, man. Got to get my groove back. Got to get back in the groove of live streaming and hanging out. Man, it's weird. Me and Kaner just talked about this. We just talked about it the other day I think it was before we recorded. When you don't stream, you don't make videos for just a couple of days, all of a sudden, man, it's like, gosh, I don't even know what I'm doing. Where am I? How do I do this for a living? I don't know, but we survived. We made it through the first one. We'll be back with a video probably. I got a sick little one. He's always sick. Always sick. He's sick again. So I don't know if I'll make a video today or not. We'll get a video out in the morning and then live tomorrow night. Michelle drops an $8 super chat. She says, I'm sneaking in. We appreciate you, Michelle. 8 for Nico. 8 for Nico. I will allow it. Thank you for the super chat from the Queen Lurker. That is going to do it for this one. We will see you guys tomorrow. This is the Talkin Balls Network. My name's Boogie Bentley. Go Big Orange.
Mark Stoops is 2-9 against his team, and to walk around this place before the game, I was disgusted. The smugness of those guys just walking around like, we're going to walk in here, we're going to kick your ass, and you can't do anything about it. And it made me sick. And you know what? They did it. They still did it. What the hell can we not? Can we just beat this team? I know that Mark Stoops has done a lot of good things. This is his one really bad thing. The stupid stat about beating teams with a winning record and taking the next step and blah, blah. Just freaking beat Tennessee. Please, can we just stop losing to this stupid team with that stupid orange color?